Assalamualaikum everyone. Once again, I am your friend. I am Brother JoArs Alferez. So I'd like to present once again another topic regarding how to prepare for and present a seminar. So last presentation, I shared with you regarding the tips. I think there are 9 tips on how to do your academic or research in the academic presentation. So here we are in this another input regarding how to prepare for and present seminar. So there are some advice for us who are professionals. So in this presentation, the outline is the power of communication, general and specific rules in making a presentation, question and answer period, and of course the research proposal. So what about this power of effective communication? And I think you know very well. If you share, if you talk, if you communicate with gusto, like feel that you're a leader and you want to influence, you want to inspire your colleague or to the audience, then the power of analysis and synthesis, you know how to synthesize in your sharing, in your presentation. Then if there are complex issues, you know how to explain and simplify. Then recognition within the organization. That's the first regarding the outline on the power of effective communication. And remember in your English when you were still in college about the effective communications, the way how to impart the message to others. So you always think that you are the sender, then bringing that message and of course to the receiver, to the audience. Then after that there is a feedbacking. So that's the flow in effective communication. Next, the general and specific rules in making a presentation. So remember on this. In your presentation, remember the content, the design, as well as the delivery. This is also related to effective communication. So the general rule number 1, know your audience. I think in our previous presentation, I shared with you, and you know already, why is it that there is a need for us to know our audience. If they're professional, students, young professional, the adult. And why? Knowing that audience so that alam mo kung paano babanatan yung audience mo. Alam mo kung paano kikilitiin yung audience mo. Second, be prepared and be confident. Then be able to know the mechanical issues, whether you have the notes or you don't have notes. What is important that you are ready to your presentation, because there are instances that you'll be called, and of course your sentido común will tell you whether ready or not ready, as long as you know. That's why sinasabi nga sa Boy Scout, laging handa, always ready, be prepared. Okay? Especially in this presentation. Third, be on time. Whether you have slides or no slides, then how many slides that you prepare, then remember, effective is the key word. How effective are you in presenting your topic in a seminar or in a conference or in a forum? Okay, so be on time. Be punctual. Take note on that. Kaya nga, majority of us here are teachers or the PNP. We have to be on time. Sabi nga, Filipino time. But remember, Filipino time should always be on time. Okay? Hindi yung nag-usap tayo 1 o'clock, darating 1:30, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. So, in a presentation, in a seminar, you have to be on time, especially if you are the speaker, if you are the facilitator. Another rule is have a message, have a story to tell. Make sure it is clear to you. Anong sasabihin ko? Of course, you have already prepared in your topic. But of course, the additional is very, very important. Kung anong sasabihin mo to your audience. That's why the first is, it's good to know your audience. Sabi ko sa inyo na para alam natin kung paano sila babanatan, kung paano sila kikilitiin. If it is adult, alam mo. If it is young, alam mo. Young professional, alam mo. O kabataan, it can be, alam mo. But have that message, have the story to tell to them. Okay, that's a rule, general rule. Like for example, in this premise, in a general rule, the knowledge and know-how determine how well-off societies are vis-a-vis to other societies. I think you have that know-how. That education of engineers is critical to every nation to ensure the prosperity of their citizen. Okay? That's the message, but you have to know that one. Then, creation of wealth is related to nations' ability to produce or the products that other nations want to purchase. So that's a premise regarding you are always bringing the message and you have to know and to tell the story. Okay? That's only an example of the idea of the topics, of that statement or that argument. Okay? How much more if you are ready in your own presentation? So that's only a sample. Next general rule. Tell the audience what you will do. Tell the audience what you will do. Of course, you have the outline and everything, the introductory part. But once again, general rule is tell the audience what you will do. Then you have to do it and tell them what you did. So that's very, very important. That's why that's a general rule. So once again, do it. Tell the audience what you want to do. And tell them what you did. Next rule, no commercialization and give credits. Bawal advertisement kasi no commercialization man. But it's good also to give credits, especially if you have the co-authors, your partner in your presentation. It's a good thing. Or maybe if you have sponsors or the slides, you have to have a courtesy kung saan galing yun. And of course, the data, if it is a research, kung saan yun nagagaling yung data mo. Next, number 7 general rule. Less is more. Less is more. Which means beauty is in simplicity. Okay? Beauty in simplicity. Less is more. And I think, sentido común ba? Self-explanatory ba? Okay? Less is more. And I think we had already shared this one in the previous presentation. Then, no jokes. Fine line between being entertaining and unprofessional. I think all of us, we have attended a lot of seminars, a lot of speakers. But for Filipinos, if you notice, para bang may kulang pag ang speaker walang joke. Okay? But part and parcel of our as Filipino, may mga joke. Kaya nga sabi, ay, magaling man siya pero boring man. Kaya yung iba, they crack jokes within that presentation. But as general rule, wala daw joke. Okay? But remember, kung may joke man, siguro sabi ka as Filipino, wag lang yung mga grain joke, the brown joke. Okay? Basta mga professional, maybe a joke. Okay? Kaya nga, use personal stories that strengthen the message. So, you can use an anecdote your life, pwede rin. Pero, once again, ulitin ko, the general is no joke, but for us Filipinos, it's part and parcel of us Filipinos. We have one of our ability, we have a sense of humor compared to the other races compared to the other people. But as a general rule, once again, dapat walang joke. Okay? Take note. Sir, paano ikaw kung magla-lecture ka, kung face-to-face, may mga joke ka man? Yes, sabi ko nga, that's part of being a Filipino because you have a sense of humor. Sense of humor daw sa Cebuano, katawan nagnawong, ambot lang. Okay, sige. Next rule, engage the audience, connect with them. Engage the audience, then connect with them. And why? Of course, para hindi sila maboboard. Of course, para so that their attention palaging nasa sayo. Okay? That's why you have to connect that audience. Kaya nga, sabi natin noon, eye contact is very, very important because you are connecting your audience. I think that's very clear, di ba, in the previous presentation. Next rule, be excited about the subject and be positive. And of course, it's normal. If you are presenting your topic in a seminar, in a conference, in a forum, kinakabahan ka, naninervyos ka, but be positive and be excited. Kasi ang umpisa lang man dyan, based from my experience, I think I had a lot of presentation in the international, in the local. Una-una, kinakabahan ka. Kasi especially your audience are professional. But that's part and parcel of being a speaker. Kaya kakabahan ka. Pero you have to be positive. Pero after that, mawala naman yung kaba. Of course, if you are ready. Next, we have the specific skill sets. So, take note of these specific skill sets kung ano ito. First, specific skill. Do not look at slides or screen, then look at the audience. Importance of eye contact. So, I told you, I shared with you in the previous topic regarding the tips. Okay? Because there are speakers na nakafocus lang sa slides. But as a specific skill, you have to look at the audience. Yun bang feeling nila, mahalaga sila. Okay? We have a speaker and a teacher noon, nagsasalita, ewan saan nakatingin, sa taas. Ayaw tingnan ang mga tao. But as a specific skill, or set of the skill, look at the audience. Okay? Wag doon sa slide, wag doon sa taas, kundi the audience. Connection, the importance of eye contact. Okay? Next, attention span of the audience. Do not barrage them with slides. Kaya nga, kung may pasayaw-sayaw ka, ako minsan, your movement also speaks a lot. But make sure, para yung the attention span of the audience, if it's especially young people, or even the adult, inaantok yan sa anong gagawin mo. Okay? Tingnan mo din ito kung paano as a speaker. Then, another specific skill, clarity. Take note of the clarity. Okay? Clarity in writing, clarity in graphs or tables, especially in your research, the color, I think I already shared with you, the sentences versus bullets. But in making like PowerPoint presentation, kung may sentence man, one sentence, two sentences, or bullet in a bullet form. Pwede bang paragraph? Pwede naman pa, pero pag puro paragraph yun, medyo magkalabo-labo. What about the photos? Dapat klaro. The margin, dapat klaro din. Then, of course, if you have video clips or a short film, dapat klaro din. It should be in connection to your topic. In my case, if I give talk, of course, I have my video clips, of course, from the movie, but it should be connected to your topic. Take note. So, may example dito. What about this one? Is it clear? When I talk about Industrial Revolution, steam engine, the machine tools, the textile machinery, the steel industry. That's more on what is happening on the period of industrial revolution. What about the picture? Is it clear? What about the numbers, the population, the world's population? Is it clear? Okay. Another one, the end of the Cold War era. What about the picture? Is it clear? Sino-sino yung mga tao yan in the end of the Cold War era? Kilalaman ninyo yan? Malabo ba? Another example, yan. Is it clear the message of this? Okay, recycling or packaging. Klaro ba no? Kung anong gagawin dyan? Kahit nasa picture lang, there's a message. And the question, is it clear? As a speaker, what you want to do on that picture? Okay? Then what about this graph? Is there a significant relationship between the age, the sex, diba, in your research when you took your master's degree or now in your dissertation? May mga ganon. But for the peace education, I think our majority of our research is more on the qualitative. We don't have like this. But if we have this graph, it should be clear. So clarity, that's an example. Another example, another one, this one. Is it clear? Sir, malabo man. Pero pag malaking ano yan, sa talagang nakaproject yan, maganda yan. At least klaro din. Then, it is said that innovation is a key. Innovation is a key. Then, research is the transformation of money into knowledge. Then, innovation is the transformation of knowledge into money. That's according to Nick. Geoffrey Nick. Then if you will be asked, ano kayong ibig sabihin dyan? Innovation is key. Then research and transformation of money into knowledge. Then innovation, likewise, is also a transformation of knowledge into money. I think you have an idea if you will be asked about that, as innovation is key. Then another skill is reuse outline. Reuse outline. What does it mean? In your first, in the introductory part, like what I did, may outline doon. Then pwede mo yung ibalik. You have to reuse that one. And what's the purpose? Like that one. So reuse outline yan, binalik siya. Ano ay? So that your audience will be reminded once again para bang hindi sila mawala sa flow. Okay? Saan na ba tayo ngayon? Anong topic na ba ito ngayon? Kaya nga, it's also good. Sir, pag walang PowerPoint, makaya ba? Yes, makaya. Diba? May mga speaker kahit na noon, wala man tayong PowerPoint. First, remember this one. Second, remember. Third, so that I have 3 things for you. I remember that my former professor and my former president in Notre Dame University, and you are familiar with Father John Mercado. Hindi pa uso noon, pagpasok ko sa Notre Dame University, yung mga PowerPoint, more on lecture. Okay? Minsan walang visual aid. Basta mag-talk yan sa, I have 3 things for you. First is love. Second is hope. Third is faith. Then the greatest is love. Then after that, in the middle of the talk, ibabalik niya yan. Then at the end of the talk, ibabalik din niya. And why? So that the audience will be reminded. It will be inculcated, nakatatak dito, hindi nakakalimutan sa mga audience. Kaya nga, the first, itong number 4 skill, specific skill, reuse the outline. I think that's clear. Next, yung sa outline, dito na tayo sa question and answer period. Then, the last slide is, outline is the research proposal. Now, the specific skill number 5, for forceful and appropriate redundancy. What does this mean? Purposeful and appropriate redundancy. Kailangan ba? Kahit na pabalik-balik yun, redundant yun, pero may purpose, appropriate din siya. And why? Sabi nga, para ma-inculcate talaga sa mga audience mo. So pwede, that's also a skill. Di ba alam nyo na ganito? Especially if your audience are young people. Na ang kabataan, the youth, is the hope of the fatherland. Then with gusto na pagsalita, then kahit na paulit-ulit yun, basta appropriate lang. Okay? Kaya nga appropriate redundancy. Next, post questions and then answer that question. Example. Pose a question and then answer that question. Example. What are the two most important assets of a successful corporation? So that's a question. You can either ask to the audience or you can answer it by your own. No problem. But if you want a participative seminar, you can ask to the audience. Knowledge, people, or you can ask them to explain the two most important assets in a successful operation. So that's also very, very important para mapupukaw naman yung natutulog. Matatawag yung kanilang pansin sa inyong mga audience. Okay? Another question. What are the two most important products of a successful consortium? Knowledge and people. So once again, you can ask or you can answer immediately. That's one important thing in a question and answer. That's why you have to post a question. Okay? Once again, pwedeng ikaw sasagot o pwedeng magtatanong ka. Next, specific skill, the equations versus words. I think this is more on mathematics. Equations and versus words. May halimbawa dito, hindi naman siguro malinaw, pero equations and words. A total mass of fluid times the acceleration due to the gravity component in the direction of motion is equal to shear stress on the walls times the total contact area between the channel and the fluid. So that's sinasabi natin na equations and words. So next, then the rate of the minimum input into the element minus the rate of the momentum output from the element plus sum of the forces acting on the element minus the rate of the momentum accumulation of the element. Okay, equation and words. So, mathematical. Kaya nga, that's another also skill. Kung magaling ka ganon, maaari ding gamitin yan. Then, bakit pwede bang gamitin yon within the talk kahit na mathematics? Pwede yon. Any topic. Words or equations versus words. Pwede yon. Okay? Kung sa mathematics, madali lang man. Pero pwedeng i-apply ito ha. Halimbawa, faith and service is equal to love. Pwede rin. Then, kung sa mathematics, remember the Pythagorean theorem? A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared. So, equations, words versus words. I think malinaw yan. So, yan, examples, mga equations, medyo malabo. Sabi ko, this is more on mathematics. I think familiar man kayo sa equations. Then, of course, in words, pwede mo basahin in words. Ayan. Okay? Then, another specific skill, handouts or no handouts. What's the importance of handouts? Okay, kung walang PowerPoint, may handouts ka or walang handout, what is important is your message in your, yung dala-dala mo na message para sa mga tagapakinig mo. But it would be good also to give handouts. Pero sa ngayon, wala naman yung handouts. If you are the speaker, you can share your soft copy in your presentation. Pero pag wala kang PowerPoint presentation, kung basa may handouts, you can also share that one. Pag walang handouts, okay lang din. That's also a skill. Okay? So, let your audience take note pag wala kang handouts. Okay? So, yun. Isa yun sa specific skill na dapat nating malaman. Then, what about the skill, the cadence? Ano kaya itong cadence? According to Mr. Webster, I consulted Mr. Webster, a cadence, this is a noun or a modulation of voice or inflection of the voice. Modulation, there are some, especially the radio announcers, the way they speak is yung modulation, ang galing nila. Okay, inflections of the voice. And cadence is also similar to intonation. If you notice, I have my own intonation. I think you have also your intonation. I am a Cebuano, kaya Bisaya kayo ko. If you are Ilocano, halata. If you are Ilonggo, halata din because you have your intonation. Paano nila nalaman na Ilonggo ako? Sa pagpagsalita ko ba o sa paglalakad? Okay, that's more on cadence, the cadence of language. This is also a rhythmic flow of the sequence of sounds or words. That's cadence. But remember, that's also a skill. If you know how to modulate your voice, kasi parang beat kasi ito, the intonation, okay, the way you speak. Kaya nga, pag may mga speaker na yung monotonous, pag magsasalita, tuloy-tuloy yan. Walang beat, walang rising and falling intonation. Pag ganon, tuloy-tuloy ka lang, monotonous, ang nakakinig, ganon lang din hanggang matulog. But if you know the cadence as a skill, modulate your voice, maybe your intonation, that's a skill. Okay. Next, ito, related to that cadence, the voice, the tonality, the tone, is it loud enough? If you have the microphone, if you don't have the microphone, I think if you are the speaker, your voice should be heard to the last person of the conference room or of the room or of the classroom if you are a teacher. Tama ba? Ito, may mga police officers, dapat malakas yan. Pag mahina yan, was effect. Hindi yan, I don't know ha, I think you can notice then in your report, mga PhD student na kayo, pag mabagal, monotonous, the tonality, yung tone niya, may problema, patay din ang nakikinig. Tama ba? So, take note. So, that's also a skill. That voice, is it loud enough? Hoy! Pwede ka naman sumigaw? Pwede man? Pwede bang mag-dramatize? Pwede. So that the attention of your audience, kaya nga, at the end of your talk, papalakpakan ka kung magaling ka. Pero pag monotonous ka, wala kang mga skill, papalakpak, pero luya kaayo. Am I right? Yung iba mapipilitan lang. Okay, so alam ninyo yan. So once again, the question and answer. So ito yun, take note ha, yung kanina sinabi ang outline, you can reuse to, tayo pabalik-balik yan. Malapit na tayo. Then, the question and answer, maybe at the conclusion, you can ask question, or maybe your audience can also ask question. Pero usually in a seminar, in a conference, the question should be answered at the end of the talk. Especially sa kolokyum, sunod-sunod man yan. Or the first three speaker, and later na ang ano. But may mga instances right after the talk sa kanyang question. But it's also another style. If I am the speaker, wag na maghintay doon sa panel. Ikaw na mismo. If it is at the seminar o ikaw lang mag-isa, pwede namang magtanong ka. Or pwedeng magtanong, do you have questions? Do you have any clarification? Did you understand the topic? Nasundan man ninyo lahat? Kung may mga query, you can ask questions. So it's up to you as a speaker. Okay? I think alam na alam ninyo yon. So, the research proposal, kaya nga kayo, sabi ko, one of your requirement, kahit hindi natin yan scrutinize, you have to submit a research proposal in preparation for your dissertation after your comprehensive examination. So, alam niyo kung ano yung research proposal sa atin. I think sinabi na natin yun. Introduction, Chapter 1, that includes the introduction, ang lahat-lahat na scope and limitation, significance of studies, definition of terms, ano pa. Under sa Chapter 1, kasali na yun doon yung review of the related literature. And why? Binago na yung format in the graduate school. Susunod na tayo sa IMRAD. Introduction, methodology, okay, results and discussions. So, kaya nga IMRAD. So, yun yung sinusunod in your proposal. So, in that proposal, you have to ask why, the what, and so what. That if your proposal, yung impact of your proposal. Then, with that, I hope you learn something with this. Once again, sabi ko, this is additional so that you will be prepared in your future research presentation. It can be local, it can be national, or international. I think marami na tayong input na ibigay dyan. Kaya nga, sabi ko sa inyo na kayong hindi PNP, grupo ni Ustad Saudi, at saka yung grupo ni General Concepcion, Colonel Banyaga, Colonel Gulab, Colonel Mauricio, yung mga pulis. So, the PNP, ready na yun sila. I think sabi ko, kahit na maghanda lang sila ng 3 presenters, then sa atin, sa grupo ni Ustads, 3 or 4 then we have to meet para masubukan natin. We have to meet kung saan, pwede siguro doon sa PNP Training Center sa Parang or dito sa ating eskwelahan. Parang our finale in this research presentation. But once again, a reminder, I had already sent with you my email address. Please send your master's thesis. Si Ustad Saudi, I don't know, wala pa man siyang reply kung tanggap yung kanyang research sa international. Sa PNP, si Sergeant Christy Barreto, na-publish na ang kanyang paper. So, that will be her passport na hindi na siya magpe-present doon sa ating research forum when you graduate. Kasi PhD, dapat either you have already published a research or presented your paper to a research forum. So, take note on that. So, once again, I'd like to say thank you, gracias, shukran, merci, tatak, arigato, daghang salamat. God bless everyone. Dalaygon ang Diyos. This is your friend, Brother JoArs Alferez. Mabuhay tayong lahat.